Now, although it's slightly raining, there's a big grin on my face because you can't see what I can see. I left the boat last Friday. It's now Tuesday. Look what happened. Thank you, Dad. Love it. Well, now I will immediately ruin this beautiful result by welding in a small piece that needed to be replaced on the flybridge. Here you see me prepping the piece and then meticulously fitting it into its new place. The nice new paint layer is locally stripped to expose bare steel and prepare the perfect surface for a neat weld seam. This involves a lot of fitting and adjusting. Once it fits perfectly, I can tack weld the new piece of steel into place and then fully secure it. Another layer of epoxy filler and it's as good as new. So now we head below deck to the room of doom. For those who didn't see the previous episode, the paint I applied last winter is literally peeling off the walls. Thanks to the wonderful comments, and please keep them coming, I figured out the problem. Despite the paint manufacturer's indication it could be applied down to -5 degrees Celsius. The big issue here was the humidity. Since we finished just before the evening, the dew point set in quickly while the paint was still wet, preventing proper adhesion between the cold steel and the wet paint. I should have kept the space warm and moisture free overnight. Honestly though, I don't dare leave the boat alone with the heater on in this stage of the rebuild. Or I should have waited for a less humid period. Oh well, another lesson learned. Because this is such a tedious job, I send a small section every workday. And so I will eventually be able to start over again. And man, this is a dusty job. The advantage of starting over again is that I can now properly tackle the portholes. In the previous painting job I had somewhat neglected them due to time constraints, but now I can finish them properly. Weld or replace pieces where needed, reapply filler, sand and then include them in the next coat of paint. Alrighty then, now to the front of the boat. In the previous episode you saw how I started the deck renovation on the bow. But to prevent fire hazards I needed to remove the interior below. Well, here we go. Some areas are still in semi-good conditions, others are rotten to the core. you know, I wish to approach this restoration as circularly as possible and save all the nice pieces of wood from the interior to reuse later. All pieces need to be labeled and handled with care. The pieces that are moldy and beyond saving are ruthlessly removed. In the forepeak, where the former guest cabin was located in the bow, I removed both sides. One side with a bunk bed and the other side with a small bathroom. In the new layout, this will become a more spacious guest cabin. I switch permanently between carefully removing the beautiful mahogany wood and roughly pulling out the rotten panels from the ceiling and the walls. Safety glasses on, boy. But a helmet would have been a better idea. Bang! Yeah, that was right to the head. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the battleground after a day of hard work in the demolition world. All that wood and the salvaged wood in the other room must be transported out. Fortunately, I can count on a few extra hands from my father and my children. Next week though, we will continue with the deck restoration of the bow. See you there!